Hey everyone, it's Ray from the Teach Better team, and guess what? I have Tiffany Ott with me.
Hi guys, my internet is working well enough right now that I can be here, and that's great.
We did give you a little bit of grief in our preview video,
Did
Tiff.
you?
I was talking about how you and I were battling to talk to Ryan, and I was victorious.
Nice. It was gonna be me.
But I stole the show, and
Yeah.
Ryan and I got to hang out for a whole 15 minutes before his Twitter chat.
That's pretty fancy.
It was
delightful.
And that is why we're going live, is because we have to recap that amazing chat.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't join us on Twitter, Ryan Sheehy, the author of Be the One. He's also an elementary principal. He has his own Twitter chat on Wednesdays. Ryan kind of does everything. He speaks everywhere, whatever. Great guy.
Yeah.
Hosted our mastery chat this week, and it was hopping, Tiff.
He has been so fun because I do all the emails to moderators and get their questions and make the images and all that fun stuff. And he made a video. I don't know if you saw the video. It's on Instagram and I posted it on Twitter. And it just kind of made me be like, Ryan, I feel like you're somebody that I just want to sit down and talk to because you're just so friendly in this 35-second video. But I don't know, he was great. So I'm bummed that I was like kind of in and out through the chat, but I think I caught enough to know that it was awesome.
It was awesome. I got to meet Ryan in person a few weeks ago, and I was totally a dork. Like when I was first talking to him, I'm like shaking and like fangirling out, and I'm like, "Hey Ryan, my name's Ray." It's like so funny. And he's like a normal guy, great principal. I'd work for him. I mean, like super cool and collected and passionate about relationships, building relationships with students. And what more could you ask for in an administrator?
I love so much that there are so many people in education, and you know this from Twitter, from like book authors who you might think to yourself, oh, I don't have like nothing I say is going to be significant to this person, or what am I going to say that they're actually going to want to hear? But I have never experienced meeting somebody who I thought to myself, whoa, they're a big deal in education, and then felt like they weren't interested in what I had to say. Like, I just encourage everybody, go up to the Ryan Sheehys or the Dave Burgesses or the anybody's and just say, hey, let's chat, because every one of them that I've met has been super cool and super willing to just be open and have a conversation. Love it.
Wholeheartedly. I've had the same experience. So that's an awesome recommendation. Yeah. Especially since this is off topic, but we're having a conference in November and we're all going to be together in person. And if nobody comes up to talk to anybody, then that will make for a really bad conference.
That's very true, Ray. We'll just be sitting there twiddling our thumbs. So let's not do that. Come talk to us. It's good stuff.
Well, we will talk a little bit more about the Teach Better conference this November. We'll talk about that a little bit after, but let's go back to Mastery Chat and focus on what we enjoyed about this chat. Was there anything specifically, Tiff, that stood out to you that you just really enjoyed that you want to highlight?
I loved the last question. The last question of the chat. Let me pull it up because I want to say it right.
It was, phrased well.
Yep, hang on. There it is. Where is it? There it is. Found it. Okay, so it says, if you had one wish for education, what would it be? And then I like this part better. How will you make it happen? And I love that so much. And I was just like, I could write 500 pages about that topic, but for me, I want kids to love learning. I want kids to be excited and passionate and curious and question and challenge. And I want them to be able to do it at their own pace. It's my shtick. That's a lot less than 500 words, right?
But the concept is exactly what we live, eat, and breathe, right?
Yes.
I mean,
everything we do.
Yeah, my answer to that was all focused on wanting our students to be exposed to everything so they have opportunities and choices, and adding that layer of them being able to do it their own pace and get what they need when they need it from the people they need it from, like perfect,
Magic. I love it. So I'm going to go back. I love to, I said earlier that I do all the moderator communication, and that's a really cool part of my job. But also the day after the chat, I go back and I search all the tweets from the chat, and I see who was in the chat, who wasn't, who can be tagged for next week. And I always love rereading responses to certain questions that I'm like, oh, that's a great question. I have to read everything. So tomorrow I'll go through all the A7s, all the answers to the 7th question. I'll just be like, I love education. This is so great because the world is full of so many people who are really passionate about what they do. So it's another fun thing I get to do.
Well, and his question mirrored a similar conversation I was having a few weeks ago with an educator. I was with a kindergarten teacher, and we were talking about real world connections in a kindergarten classroom. Yeah. And her and I's conversation kind of concluded with, you don't ask students what they want to be when they grow up. You ask students what problems they want to solve. And so that was so perfect to Ryan's question. He's like, make a wish. And when you first read that, you're like, it can be anything, no limits, money aside, real world aside, what's the wish for education? And when that final twist of like, now how are we making it happen? And give me that tactical approach that we can do tomorrow to start the process. That's what we want for our students. And that's what we should be encouraging our teachers to approach it as well.
Well, and you said something there, Ray, that I think is interesting and worth commenting on, although pretty much everything you say is interesting and worth commenting on, I must say. But you said like, oh my gosh, sky's the limit. Money's not an object and all of this kind of stuff. A lot of times when we think, what do we wish for education? People will say, oh, I wish that I had enough resources for my classroom, or I wish that my district would let us do X, Y, or Z, or I wish all of these external things that we can't control, right? And I have a 14-year-old daughter, for those of you who don't know. Her name's Rachel.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah, great name. But she very much like lives in this world of, I can't control what happens in my life. It all happens to me, right? And so she's got, I love this phrase, she has an external locus of control. And I find that a lot of times teachers do too, right? They're like, oh, all of these things need to change and need to be fixed. And I want all of these things to be better. But Ryan's question, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, okay, yeah, but what are you going to do? Because when it comes to financing our classrooms and when it comes to, I don't know, testing that we really can't have a lot of control over,